So this video is for Integrated 1. This is the Semester 2 final review. This is classwork number 4, which is going to cover Unit 7 and Unit 8. I'm going to do one video on Unit 7, one video on Unit 8. So in this one, I'm going to be focusing on Unit 7, which is triangle congruency. So let me just draw a right triangle here. And Pythagorean theorem is when we're trying to find a missing side of a right triangle. So here's our right angle. Our two legs will be A and B, and then our hypotenuse is C. Notice that the hypotenuse is always going to be across from the 90 degrees, okay? Is going to be across from the 90 degrees. It's always the longest side. The two that form the right angle are going to be your legs. So the Pythagorean theorem is the following. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And again, the C squared is our hypotenuse squared. Now, if I'm talking about the triangle angle sum, let me just draw a triangle here. And I'll shift it. It doesn't have to be any particular triangle. Okay, so if this is, let's say, angle A, and this is angle B, and this is angle C, the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C is always going to be 180 degrees. That is the triangle angle sum theorem. Reflexive property. So for the reflexive property, there's going to be two situations that you might be seeing. So one of them, let's just say I draw a triangle, and let's say that it is split like this. Then if I have this as, let's say, angle A, angle B, angle C, and then let's say that this is point D. This line segment right here, this line segment BD is in both triangles. It is in this orange triangle, and it is in this purple triangle. So that side, line segment BD, is in both triangles. So by the reflexive property, we say that BD, okay, line segment BD is congruent to line segment BD. Again, that's by the reflexive property. Another situation you might see is something like the following. So let's say we have another triangle, okay? And let's say that we have a situation like this. And in this triangle, let's say that this is A, B, C, and then let's call this D and E. So in these two triangles, so we have two triangles. One triangle is the big triangle, triangle A, B, C. And what you'll notice in that triangle, this angle up here, B, is in that triangle. Well, that same angle is in this, let me do it in a different color, this smaller triangle. So that angle is in triangle ABC, which is the bigger triangle, and in the smaller triangle DBE. So that angle is going to be congruent to itself. So angle B is going to be congruent to angle B because it is the same angle in both triangles. That is the reflexive property. Okay, vertical angles. So vertical angles is when we have two lines So let's say we have this line here, And let's say we have this line here. Okay. When we have two lines intersecting, the opposite angles, this angle here and this angle here, are going to be the same. Also, this angle here is going to be the same as this angle here. So if I was to label these, let's say that this is, let's say, line segment A, B, or line AB. And let's say that this one is C, D. And then at the center, let's call this point E. So we are going to have the following two statements. These orange angles here, angle AEC, AEC, is going to be congruent to angle BED, to angle BED, because they are vertical angles. Okay. Also, this angle here, CEB, so angle CEB is going to be congruent to this one here, DEA, to angle DEA. Again, those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. Now we're going to get into some congruent triangle situations. So let me just draw two triangles. Okay, so let's say I've got this triangle. Let me just change it up a bit. And let me copy this triangle. Okay. I'm going to change the color so I can refer to it. So let's say that this one is purple. Maybe I have to do it this way. Let's see. Okay. I will make it a different color here. Give me 1 sec. Try it this way. Okay. And I am going to just copy these triangles on each of these. Okay. So let's say that this one is A, B, C. I guess I could have copied that in each of them. And in the other one, we'll just call it D, E, F. Okay. Now these four are congruent triangles properties. So the first one is angle, side, angle. So what that would be is the following. Let me kind of highlight. So angle, side, angle. So for example, let's say we know angle A is the same as angle D. Let's say we know angle B is the same as angle E. So in both triangles, I have those two angles. Now to make it angle, side, angle, I need to know the side in between. So I would need to know that side. That would be angle, side, angle. And these two triangles would be congruent. Now in the next one, let's say I know the same two angles, angle A and angle D are congruent. Let's say angle B and angle E are congruent. Now in this case, I want angle, angle, side. So angle, angle, and then the side that's not in between. So for example, this side right here and this side right here. Okay, that would be angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. For side, 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 I would need to know, for example, AB being congruent to DE. BC, for example, congruent to EF. And AC congruent to DF. That would be side, side, side. For side, angle, side, let's say I know the same side AB and DE, that those are congruent to each other. And let's say I knew BC was congruent to EF. So if I have two sides, I need to know the angle in between. So the angle I need to know is this angle right here. Okay, this angle right here. That is going to be angle, sorry, side, angle, side. I need the angle that's in between. Let me do this, maybe not in a highlight here. So I need to know this angle if I know those two sides. Now, the next one is also a is also a triangle congruence. So this is dealing with a right triangle. So let's say I've got this right triangle. And let me copy and paste it. And let me change the color to a different color. Okay. So in each of these are right triangles. Let's say that this is A, B, C, and this is D, E, F. So hypotenuse leg means I need to know the hypotenuse in each of them. So let's say I know AB here. I need to know DE here. That's going to be hypotenuse. And then a leg, I need to know one of the legs, either AC or BC. So let's say I know BC and EF. That would be hypotenuse leg. Now, really, truly, this is angle, because I know this angle, side, side. And angle, side, side, or how I prefer to write it, side, side, angle, is not a congruent triangle. Okay, we see that over here. But with a right triangle, if you know two sides, you can always find the third using Pythagorean theorem. So if two sides are the same, that third side has to be the same in both of them. So this one is a special one. Again, it's called hypotenuse leg. Okay. Now, both of these ones are not ones that are congruent triangle situations. So let me just kind of copy. Let me get a triangle. And let's say I get another triangle. Let me change the color. So those are going to actually have the same angles if I move this. They're going to have the same angles. Okay, so this would be angle, angle, angle. But these triangles are not congruent. So right now, if I was to call this one A, B, C, and this one D, E, F, this angle here is the same as this angle here. It's a little thicker. So this angle here and this angle here are the same. This angle here and this angle here were the same. And this angle here and this angle here were the same. But you can see that these two triangles are not congruent necessarily. These two triangles are similar. So angle, angle, angle leads to similar, not congruent. Okay, and if I had a situation where I had side, side, angle, okay, side, side, angle. So let me get two triangles again. And let me get another triangle. And let's say those two sides are the same. Okay, so let's say that the two sides that are the same are this side. Let me get a this side and this side. And let's say that this side and this side, but we have this angle. Okay, the angle is over here. It's this angle and this angle. So what can happen is when I'm doing these two triangles may not be the same. So let me kind of show us why. So in this situation, we have this 45-degree angle. Okay, this ray is shooting off forever and ever and ever. We don't know the length of this side. This side is not determined. Okay, this side is going to be determined. It's a 4.11, and this one with the C here, that also is not changing its length. I can't make it longer at all. I can just move it. It's not, it's like on a hinge here. It's not set like this one. So I can change the size of this angle. Okay, so I can make a triangle right here. Or if I was to take this around, this actually is going to hit the same ray at a lower spot. So I can make a second triangle. So if I have two sides and an angle that's not in between, keeping these set, this angle here is going to change because it's, again, it's on this hinge. And these two set sides can hit here or here, and I can get two different triangles. So this one here, side, side, angle, not congruent. So now we're going to try doing these problems. For the following triangles, write the congruent statement and theorem that makes the triangles congruent. If the triangles are not congruent, write not enough information. Okay. So for the first one, I've got this angle here. Let me make this a little smaller here. I've got this angle here at B and this angle here at C. I have this side right here and this side right here. Those are the only markings I have, but I do have this line BC, which is shared between the two triangles. But if you look at what I have side, side, angle. So this one is not enough info. Okay, again, this was side, side, angle. On number 2, I have this single angle, this single angle. We have a double angle here and a double angle here. So those two angles are going to be the same. And the only marking I have are those, but they both do have this side BC. Now this is going to be angle, side, angle. So the reason that these are congruent is angle, side, angle. And my congruent statement, let's say I take triangle A, B, C. So if I call it ABC, the angle that corresponds with A is D. Now I have to be careful. In this triangle here, okay, in this blue triangle here, angle B is a double marking. In this purple triangle here, angle B is a single marking. It's the purple. So these two B's are not the same. So this B actually corresponds with this C. So this is going to be DCB. On number 3, I have this side here, AB, which is going to match with this side here, AC. I have this side here, BD, is going to match with this side here, CD. So I have two sides. And then again, I have this side by the reflexive property, which has been in all 3 of these, that is going to be the same in both situations. So AD is going to be congruent to itself. So in this situation, we have side, side, side congruence. And if I said triangle ABD, on the other side, A actually does correspond with A, B corresponds with C, and then D does correspond with D. Number 4, so I have this angle here at B and this angle here at E. I have this side here, BC, and this side here, CE. And I have this angle here because vertical angles are congruent. So I have angle, side, angle. So these are congruent by angle, side, angle. And if I call this one, let's say I call it BCD. So if I say triangle BCD, B corresponds with E. C actually does correspond with C in this situation. And my D is going to correspond with A. On number 5, in this case, I have a side and a side. I have an angle and an angle, and I don't know anything else. So this one is not enough info. I needed more. On number 6, I do have a right triangle. Doesn't mean I necessarily have hypotenuse leg, but maybe I do. I do know that this side right here is going to be the same as this side right here. So I have an angle and a side in both of them. And then I do have vertical angles. This angle here and this angle here are going to be the same. So I don't have hypotenuse leg. I have angle, side, angle. So angle, side, angle. And let's say I call this triangle here A, B, C. A corresponds with E, B corresponds with D, and C happens to correspond with itself. Number 7, I have an angle and an angle. I have this side with a single mark and this side with a single mark. I have this side with a double mark and I have this side with a double mark. Now I have the 3 same markings, but they're not in the same spot. This angle is in between these 2 line segments, and this angle is outside. So this one would be side, angle, side, and this one is side, side, angle. So in this case, not enough info. Okay, on number 8, I have a single mark and a single mark. I have a double mark and a double mark. And I have a triple mark and a triple mark. So these triangles are going to be congruent by side, side, side. And let's say I call this first one, let me start with the X, triangle X, Y, Z. Now the X is in between the double and the triple, or my blue and my two blues. So that's going to correspond with B. My Y is here between the blue and the pink. So that's going to correspond with A. And then my Z was just between pink and baby blue is going to be C. For the next one, I have this double mark here for AC and the same mark for EC. I have this triple mark for BC and the same triple mark for CD. And these are going to be vertical angles. So those are going to be congruent. So this is going to be side, angle, side. And let's say I call this first triangle, triangle ABC. My A is going to correspond with my E. My B is going to correspond with D, and then C with C. On number 10, I have this AC with a double mark and this BD with a double mark. I have this AB with a triple mark and this CD with a triple mark. And then this side is going to be the same in both triangles by reflexive property. So this is going to be side, side, side. And triangle, let's say A, B, C. A is right here between the purple and the blue. So that's going to be here. That's going to be D. My B is between my purple and green. So that's going to be C. So notice that this C is not in the same spot as the C in the other triangle. So this angle C is between green and blue. That's going to correspond with this angle B. Prove the following triangles are congruent. So we haven't done official proofs, but I'm going to kind of show us kind of a format for going through this. So this angle here and this angle here are the same. So I'm gonna just kind of do it in a list form. I'm just gonna kind of list it out. Kind of like eventually a 2 column form, but I'm just gonna kind of list things. I know angle B is congruent to angle E. Now the reason for that is given. It was given to us. I didn't have to figure that out. This line segment BC is the same as this line segment EC. So I'm going to say BC is congruent to EC. Again, given. Now I need to see if there's anything else I know. I do know that this angle here and this angle here, because they're vertical angles, are going to be the same. Now this angle here, I'm going to call D, well, I can call it BCD or DCB. Let's say I start with B, BCD. So angle BCD is going to be congruent to ECA, to angle ECA. That reason's not given. That reason is vertical angles. Now that I have these three, I am going to know that these triangles are congruent because of angle, side, angle. So my next line, I am going to say that triangle, and let's say I call this one BCD, is going to be congruent. B corresponds with E, C corresponds with C, and D corresponds with A. and my reason, angle, side, angle. And that's really a proof. So that's the end of this video. I'm going to make a second one here for chapter 8, which is exponentials.